Good evening, everybody. This is our parent meeting redo. So I'm on here to make sure that we get a video recorded on our channel with all of the information that I went over in the parent meeting, which was live on Tuesday. Today's Thursday, the 23rd. The actual in-person parent meeting was on, oh, close that out. There we go. I'm just making sure it's going through on my phone. So yes, looks to be okay this time. So yes, my apologies again for those of you that tuned in on Tuesday night. I don't know what happened. I've always live streamed and recorded onto our channel so that everybody can see these meetings if they can't attend them when they're actually occurring at the dance room. So I don't know what happened. It did record the meeting, just black with no sound. So my apologies, but I'm going to get going. This is a parent meeting to go over all the information for our holiday show, A Season of Sweets. Normally I'm in the dance room here with all of our other families, but I'm at home today. So just want to make sure I got this info out to you guys. Thank you to all those that were able to attend in person. That was great. And we're just getting the rest of the info out a little bit later. So first thing I'd like to do is start by going over our calendar. So I'm going to be using this calendar here. This calendar has been sent to you on email. It's been sent to, let's see, it was sent out, I believe, on September 15th. And the heading for that email will say, welcome to fall session. So I always put the calendar in the welcome email. So that way you guys can follow along. It's also the calendar that's posted on the board at the dance room at our little table there where I put all the information. So this is the calendar that we follow. But you guys should have a copy of it as well. And just a quick reminder about emails. I have sent out about 5 emails at this point. So if you haven't received them, they may be going to a spam folder or something like that. Somebody just reached out and was not being able to view the emails. So I do have one email that for some reason does keep coming back to me. It's getting bounced back to me with the last name Salazar. So if that's an email that anybody has, please make sure to reach out to me. It wasn't anybody that I could find in my rosters, but it may be a family member. Sometimes different family members register the students. So there is one email address out of all of them that does keep coming back to me. So if you think that might be your email, there's another name in there, but part of that email address includes the name Salazar, then please email me at espritarts8@gmail.com so I can make sure to get you onto our email list. So right here you can see on the 10th or 10/21 was our parent information meeting. The next thing that's coming up, you guys, on our calendar, it's from 10/25 to 10/31. It is Halloween dress up week. It will start this Saturday is the first day, and it will go up until Halloween. On that Friday, Halloween's on a Friday, and we have our Wiggles and Giggles in preschool that morning. So I did think it would be fun to have class that morning. They can start off early and wear their costume to class. The kids are not required to dress up, but they're welcome to. If they choose not to and they just want to come in their dance clothes, I tell them, great, you're a dancer today. They can wear their pajamas. If they want to be comfortable, they can wear, just a cute pair of ears or something like that. They don't have to do anything big. They're welcome to wear their Halloween costume. I did put in the email where I talked about our dress up week to make sure that it's something that they can still dance in. We'll still be having our dance rehearsals for the show, running their dance. They don't need to bring any props. If they have a magic wand or a pirate sword or something that goes with their costume, they should probably leave those because they can't dance with them. But they are welcome to dress up, and we'll do some fun pictures. Sometimes we go on a little impromptu parade around the community center. So it's like a spirit week for us, and we do some fun happy Halloween games. And I did just ask that everybody please make sure that there's not anything too spooky or scary for Halloween, because we have littles in the class and they may not be on board with that yet. Next on our calendar list is on Tuesday, November 11th. That is Veterans Day, so no class. So the community center closes the building for that day. So for those who dance on Tuesday, November 11th, no class due to Veterans Day. After that, you'll see on the calendar, November 17th through November 22nd, that says Costume Distribution Week. So costumes have been coming in like crazy. It's like Christmas at my house, boxes to the ceiling. It's very exciting. What I let everybody know on Tuesday night is that I do believe that costumes will go home sooner. So they've been shipping really fast, which is great. And I will start dispersing costumes sooner than this. I think it will take us until the 17th until they're all here. But for those that the costumes are complete and the entire class has their costumes, then I will go ahead and start passing those out. So next Monday, I believe, will be the first day that I will start passing out. So it looks like the costume distribution has been moved up. Just the sooner that we get the costumes, the better. What I went over with the families about costumes. Now we have hundreds of costumes that we order for the show. So I do not open all the packages, but I would like you guys, when you get your student's costume, to do two things. If you could please open up the bag or bags and make sure that the size on the tag inside the costume matches to the sticker that's on the bag. Now, very, very rarely do I ever have a problem, but it seems like maybe out of every 300 costumes, there might be one where for whatever reason it doesn't match. And so if you guys could please make sure that the size on the bag is what they've sent us, that would be great. So match that up. We want to know that early, because if that happens, I have plenty of time to let the company know that they made a mistake and they can get us a new one. If you wait until the day of dress rehearsal, we've got no chance of fixing it. So please make sure that the size is correct. And then the other thing is to make sure that it includes whatever I've gone over that day at class. So for instance, one of our costumes comes with 2 bows. It comes with a hairpiece and gloves. So I will make sure that you guys understand that here's the costume pieces. When you get home, check the size, check your bag, and then you need to notify me immediately. Miss Katie, we only have, the gloves. We don't have the headpiece or whatever. So that's important that I find those things out sooner than later so that we can get them taken care of. I also let everybody know, please, when you get home, do not leave the costume in the bag. These costumes should be taken out and hung up on a hanger. If your child's costume has a tutu, a big fluffy skirt, then we actually store those upside down. So that is for maximum fluff. And so you want to take a pants hanger and you want to hang that tutu upside down. Turn the dress inside out, make sure the tutu's hanging upside down. I'll go over this as well on costume day, but it's important that you guys know when you take them home, check for accessories, check the size, don't put it back in the bag. We want them not wrinkled. They do come quite wrinkled, and they will require steaming to get the wrinkles out. Now, you don't have to go out and get a steamer. If you have one, great. But what works really well is to hang the costumes in the bathroom when someone's in the shower. So that's how I've done it all these years. It works perfect. It just lets all the wrinkles come out of the dress or the pants or whatever you're steaming. But that's a really easy way to get the wrinkles out. And if you, like I said, if you check for accessories, you don't see everything in the bag, please reach out to me. The costume companies are good about replacing things if I let them know early enough that they are missing something. Also, please make sure that your dancer does not wear or play in or, try on their costume, because little things will go missing. There's very small, there might be little bobby socks, or it might be a tiny little hair barrette with rhinestones on it. So we want to make sure we have all those things. The good part is that costumes are coming in even earlier. The tricky part to that is we've got to keep all those costume pieces together and out of our little dancers' hands. They're going to want to go in and open that bag and try everything on. And we just have to keep those things up and safe, because there's not a show that I've had yet where I don't hear, oh, I think we might have lost that, or I think little hands got in the bag, we can't find that anymore, We thought we had it at home. We thought it was in the closet. So things go missing. So we've got to keep track of all our costume pieces. I think that's it as far as costumes go. Oh, another tag to costumes. I have posted at our little information table the shoe, hair, and tights. So each class has accessories that you guys are responsible to get that don't come with the costume. For instance, if your student is in a ballet class, you will see on the posted list, it will say ballet pink tights and pink ballet slippers. So those are things that they will need to have for the show that do not come with the costume. Most of them have them already and are wearing them to class. So if your students' pink tights are still pink and their ballet slippers are in fairly good condition, then you're all set for the show. If for some reason you feel like their shoes are very small for them or have holes or are beaten up, it might be a good time to replace it before the show. The types of tights that I like are Capezio, and they're called the Capezio Ultra Soft. And the colors that I like to use are ballet pink. And for the tan tights, I like the light suntan. So the initials on the package that you'll see will be BPK for the Capezio tights in pink, and that stands for ballet pink. And then the initials for the light suntan, they use LSN. And again, these are the Capezio Ultra Soft in LSN and BPK. And on the list that I send out, I just write ballet pink or tan tights. But it gets very confusing. If you go onto Amazon to order them, or if you go to purchase them at a dancewear store, they're going to have lots of different styles and lots of different colors. So it's very confusing. There are a million styles and a million colors. The styles that we're looking for would be either a transition tight or a footed tight. Either one of those will work. Please do not get what's called a stirrup tight or an ankle tight. So those are different shapes down at the foot, and we want either the transition tight or a full-footed tight. So again, I know that's a lot of information, but I don't want anyone to be overwhelmed. You're going to end up going on Amazon and just tons of colors. There's 12 colors and 15 different styles. So we're looking for a footed or transition tight in either ballet pink, BPK, or light suntan, LSN. And you can check the size chart online to see what size your student will need. And Ultra Soft is the type that are most comfortable for the students. So that will be on the shoe and tight list. For shoes, it should be what they already have. If they're in jazz, it would be tan slip-on jazz shoes. Black would be black jazz taps. So the shoes that I have them wear to class are always the shoes that I try to keep them in. The exception to that might be hip hop. So with hip hop, we usually go with the tennis shoe. So if your student's in one of my hip hop classes, it will say, an all white tennis shoe, all white sneaker, all black. I usually try to either do black or white because those are generally pretty easy to find. We want to have the shoes similar enough, and usually the best way to match that would be by color, all white or all black. You certainly don't have to go out and buy any high top Converse or anything like that. I just recommend, anything that you can find that's the most reasonably priced, little tennis shoe that you can is great. And I do specify on there, so check your class, but I think I'll say either low top or high top, or I'll let you know if it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters for either one of our groups that we have this season. So you're going to look when you see the list, and it will get emailed home as well. I will email home the shoe, tight, and hair list. When you look at that list, you're going to look for your child's day that they dance, look for the class, and then it will say the color tights they need, what type of shoes, and how their hair is. Now, for hair, if your student's in ballet, it will definitely say show bun. If your student is in hip hop, it will most likely say dancer's choice. Now, with dancer's choice, please try to style their hair some way that's back off their face. I know some of them would love to dance with all their hair down, but you as a parent may come to find as you're trying to take pictures of them, right? The hair's in the face, right? And it's all, you can't really see them. And then they have a tendency to keep touching their hair if they're dancing with it down. So they can wear, space buns. They can do a French braid. They can do a high ponytail, but something that's off their face that they're not going to keep wanting to play with when they're dancing would be the best. But hip hop doesn't necessarily need a bun. So it will be dancer's choice. Now, if your students in ballet and hip hop, they will need to be in a ballet bun because the ballet buns do need to match for all of those dances. So that they may end up having to wear a bun for their hip hop class and just keep their hair the same. I don't recommend changing hairstyles during our holiday shows because it's such a quick show. It's a different story when we have our big recital in June because it's a much longer show. It has a full intermission. So students would actually have the time to maybe take their hair out of a bun and go into a ponytail. But in this scenario, they don't. It's a quick, short and sweet show. So we want them to not have to worry about trying to change their hair. So if your student has a ballet class and anything else, a tap class or a hip hop class, they will still need to wear their bun for the show so that it matches their ballet. So I think that's it for shoes, tights, and hair. I do have a hair tutorial. So on this channel that you're on right now, if you go under the live tab, you will see a hair tutorial. It is a hair and a makeup tutorial, and that's demonstrating how to do a proper show bun, where to part their hair, what tools to use, from the best kind of bobby pins to what kind of gel, water, even down to the style brush that you're using to get a smooth finish. And so I go over all of the tips and tricks that I have over the years to do a nice styled bun. I have a student there, so I'm in real time doing their hair and explaining how I'm doing it. So you guys can go onto our channel and watch that and just get an idea for what you need to do for their show bun. And another thing I want to talk about is makeup. On that tutorial, I'm doing a hair and makeup tutorial. Now, I want to differentiate makeup between a theatrical makeup and a glam makeup. I teach the students about theatrical makeup. And the reason I do that is because we have a performing arts group, which goes hand in hand with stage makeup. We have a theater class, as you guys know, most of you know, that performs musicals. We did Aladdin. We're working on Wonka right now. So that is part of their skill set that these performers will need as they get older and as they go forward in the industry. And I like to expose them to proper stage makeup so that they understand the difference between theatrical makeup and its purpose and why we wear theatrical makeup versus a glam makeup, which is generally meant to make them look older. So the makeup is not to make them look older. It's to teach them and to be able to bring out their features under the hot stage lights. And from people trying to see them, 50, 60 rows away, we want their features to be brought out. So theatrical makeup is a very specific type of makeup. And it's not, it's usually not the way that anybody would wear their hair or their makeup for every day. It's quite specific in the needs for stage. So if you are opposed to your student wearing any type of makeup, of course, I support you in that. But I want you guys to know that my philosophy about children wearing makeup is that it is done to educate them in theater arts. And as I said, as they go forward and want to do their High School Musical or dance at Disneyland or things like that, it is part of the world that they'll be exposed to. So I like to expose them to that so they understand that and that they understand the difference. I believe that our kids should not look older than they are. I also believe that they should be doing dance movements that reflect their age, as well as wearing costumes that reflect their age. And that's a super important thing to me, that our kids are able to be kids on stage. And so I just want you guys to understand when you see the makeup and hair, that is the meaning behind that. So if anybody needs help with that, please go on to the tutorial. And if you have any questions, reach out to me and email me and let me know. And I'd be happy to give you further assistance with that. All right, I think that pretty much covers the shoe, hair, and tights that will be going home and costumes. And I think that's all good. Next on our list after Costume Distribution Week, you'll notice that Tuesday, November 18th, is a Backstage Volunteers meeting. So also at our information table, I've started putting it up yesterday, and it was up yesterday and today, is the volunteer forms for those of you that would like to volunteer for the show. There are sort of two for this show, there are 2 areas that we need your help. And one of those is a backstage volunteer parent. Usually the moms volunteer to be back in the dressing room with the students. And then we also need ushers for this show. I like to have 5 or 6 ushers work what we call front of house. And front of house duties include helping people find the line. We always have a long queue out as people get ready to go into the auditorium. So making sure that the line is going smoothly, directing people to scan the QR code for the program, taking tickets when people enter, making sure there's a contact person there for advanced seating for wheelchairs or walkers, directing people to where the restrooms are, and just general help in the seating area. So that often is dads, uncles, grandpas, anybody that would like to help out with that. That would be wonderful. If you do decide to be a volunteer, then I do like you guys to come to this meeting. Again, besides technical difficulties, which I hope I don't have again, it will be online. So it always is in the evening. It has to be after I'm done teaching. So I will do this again, just like I am now. And you guys can come to the meeting in person, or you can ask questions in the chat. And then, if you can't attend that evening, I just ask that the volunteers please go back and make sure to rewatch the information so that you are familiar with how we volunteer for the show. So again, mom volunteers, they are there earlier, 15 minutes earlier than the rest of the students. They meet in the dressing room. They are sort of there so that when the parents drop their students off, they say, yes, I'm the room mom, the class mom in that moment. They gather them, they keep them backstage, trips to the bathroom if need be, and just make sure that they're all stay together, get on stage, and all of that. So that's the tasks of the volunteer parents for backstage, and then we'll need our ushers. So if you'd like to volunteer, one of 2 things. Some of you have already emailed me to ask me to please put you down as a volunteer. And then if anybody, if you see the sign-up forms that are out on our table, go ahead and write your name. And then once it gets closer to our volunteer meeting, I'll be reaching out to those people that signed up to let them know that they're volunteering. And you're always assigned to your own student's class. And then I'll also reach out to our ushers and kind of make sure that they understand what to do and when to be there. If you're a volunteer parent, I give you a lanyard to wear so that everybody knows to look for you and that you are supposed to be with our students during the show. And if you're an usher, I have you wear a name tag with the name of the show and have you write your name on that so that you are official as you take tickets. Quick thing about that, ushers and volunteers do not need a ticket to the show. Moms who volunteer backstage, you'll watch them perform, but on the side where I am, and also help me get them on and off stage. And then ushers, you guys will be inside the auditorium during the show on the inside of the doors. And so you can see the show as well. So that's our volunteers. So thank you in advance for everybody volunteering and all of your help. That's wonderful. And next on our list is on 11/24 to 11/29, no classes. That's for Thanksgiving. So we will take our break during that time, and the students can practice on our YouTube channel. So I believe everybody's been able to find our playlist. If not, I want to give directions again. If you go to the homepage of our YouTube channel, which is Esprit Arts, then you're going to see a menu at the top. If you click on playlists, it'll open up that page. And right now there's just that one playlist and it says A Season of Sweets. It's got a picture of candy, can't miss it. And if you click on that, it's going to give you all of the dances in the show. You just have to find only your child's dance. So I know people have been asking, like, do we just do that one? Because that's a lot of dances. Yes, they do not have to do 25 dances. No, just kidding. So yes, you go find, Wednesday, 6:30, advanced ballet. It'll say the name of the dance, and then that's the one that they practice. So that way they should be practicing. We do have such a quick turnaround. These kids always amaze me with how they just absorb the material, and I know they're excited, and that's a huge part of it, but they always do an amazing job, the amount of time that they turn around the show. And yes, so that is a huge, huge help, is being able to have that video. Okay, so that's something they can do on their Thanksgiving break. All right. And then as we move into December, you'll see that the first week of December, we've got our ticket distribution. And just to go along with that, I have already emailed home to you guys the lineups of the show. So we have 4 shows total. We do 4 short shows. And by short, I mean, I would say 35 to 40-minute shows, no intermission. And so your student most likely will perform in one of the 4 shows. There are some exceptions. Now, my intermediate dancers who dance with me on Wednesday afternoons, they are in more than one show. And also this year, my Storybook 2 dancers are going to 2 out of the 4 shows. So please make sure, depending on your student's class or classes, that you double check all the lineups that were sent home. The other groups that are in more than one would be our musical theater performers who are going to be doing A World of Wonka. They will perform in both shows on Wednesday. And my advanced dancers, my oldest group, they will perform in all 4 shows. So check the lineups. Make sure that you're inviting your friends and family to the correct show. I also want to be really clear with this because last year we did have confusion once again. As you look over the lineups, you are going to see that there is the dance Lollipop in more than one show. In fact, 3 out of the 4 shows have the dance Lollipop. The difference is it's a different class doing it every time. So last year what happened was at dress rehearsal, we had maybe a student showing up and yes, that was the correct costume. Yes, that's the correct song, but this is a completely different group of kids. So for the 3 Storybook classes, because they're in different shows, they're all going to be performing the Lollipop dance. So please make sure that when you're checking the lineups that you're looking for instance, Saturday, 8:45 a.m. Lollipop, or Wednesday, 3:45 p.m. Lollipop. That is your Lollipop time. So you can't just go to any of them. There is a specific day and time for each one. I don't have them memorized in my brain right now, but I know that they're split up. So yeah, please make sure. And the same goes for Hip Hop Tots. There are 2 shows that contain the dance Cookie Jar, but one is a Monday class and one is a Tuesday class. So we don't want them to show up on the wrong night and, not have their actual class that they do that dance with. So please just triple check the lineups to make sure. Yeah, so lineups have been sent out. Ticket distribution. So last year, all families were able to get 6 tickets to the show that their student was performing in. I believe that will be the case this year as well. It's a good news, bad news situation. The good news is the tickets are free. The community center generously lets us use that room, which is in quite high demand for 3 nights straight for rehearsal and 2 nights of shows, which is so nice because they closed down the entire community center so that we can have all the rooms for holding the kids before the show and so forth. So happy that we are able to have a free venue, which is great. It means we're not having to rent a high school or something for the show. But despite the 4 shows and splitting things up so that we can seat 4 audiences, it still does mean that we have to somewhat limit the tickets. So occasionally there may be some extra tickets left. What we've done in the past is I've dispersed the tickets to everybody equally. And then what I have done is had a list where you can say, I need tickets. And it's, show number 1 and show number 2. And then if people pass in tickets back to me and say, oh, I can only use 3, I don't need 6, then of course I redistribute those to people that are still looking for tickets. It does all kind of work out in the end. But I just want people to know if I could give more tickets, I would. But I think that for right now, being that we are at capacity of that room, I don't want to give out more tickets and then people not have seats or have people have to do standing room only. That gets a little bit tricky. So that's what's going on with the tickets. Now, for those dancers that are in more than one show, for instance, if your student is an advanced student and dances with me for 3 hours on Wednesday nights, yes, they're in all 4 shows, But just like last year, I'm not able to give you tickets to all 4 shows. So I have to sort of allot a show that is their show to be able to invite friends and family. Same thing goes for my Storybook 2 dancers who dance on Thursday. They're in both shows on Thursday. I know offhand that their tickets are being given to the 5 o'clock show. It also has to do with our Wonka students on Wednesday, as well as my intermediate dancers on Wednesday. So there are not enough tickets to where if your dancer's doing their dance twice, that they can have 6 for this show and 6 for that show. Each class has its own designated show where that is their, what I call their ticket show. And when I create the lineups, I have to balance it to make sure I have about the same amount of families coming to each show, because every class size is different. So if I have 20 in my musical theater class and 8 in my beginning jazz class, then that's going to be a huge difference. So I have to make sure everything's balanced. So make sure to wait until I'm able to tell those of you that have more than one show for sure what your ticket show is. And I'm working on that right now. That will be coming up in an email soon, and it will be going out just to those of you that have your student dancing in more than one show. All right, so I hope that makes sense for the ticket thing. Again, I will be sending out an email to explain that further. Coming up on our schedule after ticket distribution, 12/6, that's a Saturday. That's the last official day of the session. We're done on Saturday, December 6th. Nothing on Sunday and nothing on Monday. So after we get done, nothing on 12/7 or 12/8. 12/9, that's a big night for us. That is dress rehearsal in the Great Oak Hall. So that's a dress rehearsal. I would like the students to come with their hair done, their hair of choice, if that's what is written down for their class. Or for sure, if they're doing show bun, it's a great time to practice and make sure that you've got the show bun down. It's just another night to give it a go and see if you've got that show bun down. I don't want them to wear any of their makeup on dress rehearsal because we don't want it to get on the costumes. So they do not need to come in makeup at all on that rehearsal, but costumes and hair and accessories. So for whatever reason, last time I remember lots of people not bringing the accessories, but the details are important. The first reason is because headpieces. Basically, what I do when we all, we've got this, sometimes it's a clip, a scrunchie, a foof, an applique. They've got all these things to go on their heads. And so I have to make a decision. Does it go on the right side? Does it go above the bun, below the bun, wherever it goes? And then I let the volunteer parents know, okay, for this class, the bow goes on top of the bun, or the barrette goes on the right side of the head. And so those volunteer parents can be letting you guys know that at dress rehearsal. And so don't come without the headpiece, and if it's got gloves or anything else, certainly bring it, because it's all about doing it just as we're going to do it at the show. That's the trick of it. Yeah, did the headpieces stay? Maybe that particular headpiece was really loose, and so 3 of the girls' headbands fell off. And so now we know that at dress rehearsal, and I can say to the volunteer moms, we've got to bobby pin every headband because they fell off at dress rehearsal. So make sure to bring all the pieces, even if you're not sure if we're using it. I'm still not 100% on a couple pieces. I don't know. Some things are cute, but you're like, ooh, that's a lot. So I'm not sure. And I am, open to take parent opinion on that. But just imagine trying to get 10 little tiny fingers into that tiny little white glove. But anyway, looks darling, but extremely high maintenance. So that's a story for another day. But even if you just got it, with you in the bag, and I've got all this stuff, Miss Katie, are we using it, not using it? At least it's there, and we can make those. Sometimes we make those decisions at dress rehearsal. So please bring all of those things with you. On that note, as a parent volunteer, one thing that you will hear me say at our volunteer meeting is I would like you to always start acting as a volunteer the last 2 classes of our regular class and also at dress rehearsal. So please plan on being at dress rehearsal if you are being a backstage volunteer, because it's so helpful for you as well to have your rehearsal, to to find the kitchen, know that they wait back there. This is the direction we walk on stage. This is where we come back to watch the rest of the show, etc. So that's a really helpful thing as a backstage volunteer. Yeah, so that's dress rehearsal. At dress rehearsal, it is in the Great Oak Hall. It's actually on the surface that we'll be dancing on in that actual room. They will not come the whole time. It is staggered, and they come in half-hour increments starting at 3 o'clock all the way to 9 o'clock, and I do younger to older. So the only people hopefully that'll be there, past 7:30 will be just my high school and adult dancers. But it will be youngest to oldest. I will, of course, send out a rehearsal schedule. But being at dress rehearsal, it gives them that feeling of being in the room. They know where they'll be dancing. They can actually see where to go. And it really helps them to know what's going on the night of the show. So they need to be at dress rehearsal to have that practice, and they'll feel so much more confident. Then the next night they get there and it's like, oh, I know we go through the kitchen. I know right where to go. I know where the seats are going to be. So it's very helpful for them to have that rehearsal time. So that will be on Tuesday, 12/9, then Wednesday, 12/11, Thursday, 12/12. Those are, that looks like a misprint. How did I do that? Yeah, that's wrong. So it is 12/9 is rehearsal, 12/10 that Wednesday is a performance day, and then the 11th as well. So those are performance days, the 10th and 11th, as it's written on the lineup. So yeah, so that's everything for our calendar that we have coming up. And then just to let everybody know kind of the flow of our show, what happens is the students arrive 15 minutes before showtime. Our shows are at 5 o'clock and 6:30. So at 4:45, all of our first performers should be there. You will be told where to go, either in the dance room or the exercise room. You check in with your volunteer parent, or you stay with the group if you're volunteering. And then at that time, you can go out and drop your student with the backstage parent, go out to your seats. And the house will open. The house usually opens 10 minutes before showtime. So it takes us about 10 minutes to fill the room. So most people will have somebody from the family wait in line, go drop the kids off with the parent volunteer in the dance room, and then go find their group. It is first come, first served seating. It is general seating, so no reserve, everybody just comes in and sits where they sit. The only exception to that is those that require assistance with either a wheelchair or limited mobility that need to get in first. But we do ask that you guys just only seat who you have in your party at the time, but please don't save seats. It makes it very difficult for our ushers. So we can't have, anybody coming in and saving or putting, jackets and purses and bags and flowers on, 10 seats in the front or second row. It doesn't start the show off in a positive way. So we try to just say no saving seats, and please just, find your seat when you arrive, and your friends and family should do the same. Our ushers are there to help everybody get seated quickly and efficiently. But we just ask that you don't save seats. It makes it hard to do the seating comfortably. So then you got everybody seated. The students go on, they perform. If they are in one dance, then they perform. They go around the audience, and they go in the back of the room so they can watch the rest of the show. They watch the show, and some kids have costume changes. So they'll go out again, change a costume, come back in. Our shows are pretty quick. It's about 10 dances. And then we do a photo presentation, which is always fun. The kids love watching it. A session recap for us. And then we ask all the students who are now in the auditorium to come up on stage, and we give them their proper applause, and they get to take a bow, and then we excuse them from the stage. So just so you know, when they're done with their dance, we don't excuse them at that time. It becomes really difficult if I've asked a parent volunteer, okay, we always have more than one, but for instance, if I have a class of 12 and I have 3 moms and they're in charge of watching that group, they know to stay with that group, watch them dance on stage, take them off stage, bring them to the back, sit with them and stay with them, and make sure that when I call all the dancers up, that they get their whole class up to the stage area. But if somebody's come over midway between that plan and said, oh, we got to go, and taken their student out and left the show, then the volunteers are wondering, where's our other students? And so we really, really need to make sure that we're just not, going over. And I know in our minds, it's like, well, I'm the parent, so I can, I got to grab them, we got to go. But if there's a situation where you've got to leave the show mid-show, you've really got to connect with me first so that I can make sure that I go to my parent volunteers and say, I've made a very special exception. Look for this student. I'll write the student's name down, where you'll meet them, what time they'll be needing to take them, if you have for some reason a conflict. But it is not where they can just sort of disperse after they dance, because we want to keep track of each and every dancer. So after the show is done and we do the photo presentation, during the photo presentation, the volunteers start bringing the kids to the stage. We clap for them. We take a bow. Then I will let the students know, dancers, stay with me on stage and your grown-up will come and get you. So you will come up to the wooden floor area, the stage area that they're all on, and you will collect your student that way. And making sure that we know that parent volunteers will be standing, okay, making the connection, seeing that each student leaves with their grown-up. And so that's how we will get all the students back to their families at that time. Now we do a great big backdrop, a background. There's going to be a table. We do a theme. So this is the season of sweets. And so imagine a holiday candy shop is what I'm going for. And we also will have a large pink Christmas tree. We also will have a Nutcracker Land of Sweets soloist who will be in her pancake tutu, and she will be over there with her crown on next to the tree. So at the end, it's a great picture opportunity. You can have the family come up, take a picture with our ballerina soloist and the tree and the backdrop. And so, yeah, you're welcome to do a little meet and greet and get your picture taken. Which is a lot of fun. So that's how we end the show. And then the kids get a treat from Miss Katie at the end as well. So I try to keep it nice and short and sweet. That whole thing, we try to keep at 40 minutes with the pictures and the bow and the, treat at the end and all that should be about 40 minutes. And then for the 5 o'clock show, we clear out the auditorium. We take everybody out of the auditorium and then clean it up a little bit. There's water bottles and, all kinds of stuff. So we clean the auditorium, and then again, 10 minutes before the next show, we do a whole reseating again. So we don't let anybody stay. If you have dancers in the 5 o'clock and the 6:30, just know that the ushers will ask you, please everybody, I need you to exit and go around and get in line again, because we do a full reseating for the 6:30 show. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else for show day. And when they arrive 15 minutes before the show, they arrive totally ready. They're arriving in their costume. They're arriving with their hair done, headpieces on. The only exception to that would be they should probably wear street shoes like tennis shoes and have their ballet slippers or jazz shoes with them. But they need to come ready to go. So that's why they're getting there so close to the start of the show. Let's see. All right. Trying to think of the other things that we want to go over. Let's see. Have my little notes here in my phone. I think we went over practicing on YouTube. We went over emailing. Make sure that you're getting all of the emails for correspondence. We went over the tights, the timeline. Let's see. So what some parents have asked, what does my child need to bring with them to the show? Honestly, for the holiday show, less is better because it's a short show. They're not going to be backstage for very long. It's a quick show. So as soon as you check your child in with their parent volunteer, we're going to start lining them up. And we line up all the way through the big industrial kitchen there and down the hallway. So they're really going to be lined up. and then they go on stage and perform, and then they'll be in the auditorium watching the rest of the show. And it's very fast. So they really don't need the types of things that I tell you guys to send with them at our Citrus College show. That's a different show, much longer, much earlier call time, a longer show, an intermission. They do need to come with a backpack and water and labeled snacks and toys, stuffies and blankets and all of that stuff. For this show, not so much. You know, they need a little something, a little thing of water, maybe, you know, a little stuffy friend, you know, if they're nervous. But we try to not do too much stuff for this, because if you have them bring a backpack or a blanket or any of that, it can't go backstage with them. So after you pick them up from the stage, you would need to make your way back to the dressing room or the holding area and try to find their backpack and their blanket and things. So it's probably just better if we try to do less is more for this show. Let's see. Some have asked if we do a program. We have a virtual program that includes pictures and your student's name, and we use a QR code that you can scan. Let's see. Oh, videos and pictures. So you can take videos and pictures of the show. What I ask is just please be courteous to those around you. We all want to have that picture moment for our student. It works out pretty well. You know, it's sort of like when a parent has, you know, that's my dancer right there. We kind of all know to let them, you know, maybe squeak around through the aisle or, you know, reach forward a little bit to get that video. So please no big selfie sticks or things like that. Videotaping with the iPad is a little bit harder. Phones are better because they're a little more discreet. But just be courteous to those around you. There is an aisle that we use for exits for the show, or after they dance, they go down this little aisle, and you'll know that that's the exit aisle because I'm going to put my rubber arrows down that. So if you block that videotaping, which I don't really mind about that, but when the song's over, you're going to have to move really quick because that's the way that we exit from the stage. So yeah, pictures and videos are fine, but we just need to make sure we're not blocking anybody else. Let's see. Okay, something that I didn't discuss was undergarments. So for the hip hop classes, you'll notice when I sent home the shoe, hair, and tights list, under tights, what I wrote on that, it says black biker or athletic shorts, or black bike athletic shorts. What that means basically is that most of the hip hop dancers have some kind of like a cargo pant or a belted jogger, something like that. They all have elastic waist and a tie. I don't think any of them don't have that, or they have elastic waist and a belt. So there's always something to size the students and secure their pants really well. But underneath there, rather than just having underwear, it's always better to do a bike short. The kids feel more comfortable. It might be a thin material, possibly see-through if we were under stage, hot stage lights. Not so much for holiday show, but definitely at Citrus. So it's just like under our costumes, we always want what we call like a base layer. So that's when I'm referencing those shorts, that's for underneath the pants or the sweats or the cargo shorts or whatever is their costume piece. So that if for some reason, there's a tie comes undone, a belt breaks, and, their pants were to slip down slightly in the back or something happens, costume malfunction, as they say, they're not going to have a problem. They know that, that they're covered, and nobody sees anything but black. And so that's just a good rule of thumb. Also, a lot of times at our longer shows, the kids know they can just take off their costume pants and just be in their biker shorts. It's a lot cooler, and then they can put those on over. So it also means that the kids, if they have costume changes, I have tap and I have hip hop, and they have undergarments on, they don't have to go to the bathroom to change or go in the corner and have one of the volunteers hold a towel up or things like that. So the kids having undergarments just makes it really easy for those with changes to just go back and forth between costumes. As far as an undergarment for the leotard, they sell skin colored leotards in all different colors. They usually make them with clear straps. So you could essentially send your student in just a tan color leotard and either tan or black bike shorts, and they've got what we call their costume base. It works well in the summer. A lot of times kids, even though they're supposed to arrive in costume, it's quite hot in June. And so they know they can just come with their base on, and then as it gets closer to the show, boom, I can slip on my ballet tutu or whatever. So that's what I'm talking about when I speak about the black biker shorts. It's not part of their costume really. It's just what would be preferred as an undergarment. Let's see. I'm looking one more time to see if there's anything. I don't see anybody watching live right now. I was going to suggest that if you guys did get the notification that I can take any questions in the chat right now, but no, there's nobody watching right now. So let's see. I'll call social media. Okay. Right now, in terms of where you can purchase shoes and tights and undergarments, undergarments, you can get those off of Amazon, but shoes and tights are a little bit trickier. You want to buy a name brand tight. The reason is tights that are, like stockings or pantyhose or tights that kids would wear with dresses, they're quite different than actual dance tights. They're thin, more of a chance of getting a hole in them on show day or at dress rehearsal. So for the tights, you really do want, that's a place that I suggest getting an actual, regular brand, dance brand. And that's why I do recommend the Capezio specifically. And then shoes are different for dance because the student sizes are always different. Mine are different. I wear an 8.5 street shoe. I just got a pair of Capezio dance sneakers the other day and they're a 10. So dance shoes run completely different. So if you want to find a brick and mortar, dance wear store to take your student for a proper shoe fitting or to make sure you're getting, Capezio tights, there's Diamond Dancewear, which is on Schaefer in Chino. And that is the only place that I can say is around here. I don't know. There used to be so many more I could recommend, and they're just not anymore. So, but if you need shoes or tights and you don't have time to order or something happens, you can't find something, just good knowing that there is a dancewear, place down the street. So that's Diamond Dancewear on Schaefer. And some of you guys have asked me about makeup classes. So yes, if your student has missed a class and you would like to do your makeup class, that's completely fine with me. It is important that we find them an appropriate makeup class because I would hate for you to come on another day and then the class doesn't really serve them, either because it could be, too low of a level or too high of a level for them. I can say confidently that if your student takes Storybook Ballet, either the beginning Storybook or Storybook 2, those classes can be used interchangeably. And we have a Storybook Ballet Monday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, and we have 2 storybooks on Saturday morning. So if that's you and you have a makeup class, you're welcome to bring them to another class. Hip Hop Tots works the same. If you are a Monday or Tuesday Hip Hop Tot student, they can go to the opposite day as well to do a makeup. Aside from that, if you guys have questions about makeup classes, then go ahead and email me and just let me know, or have your student ask me, Miss Katie, when do you want me to come for a makeup? So mainly so that they're not having to, come for a makeup and then sit out for some of the class. So I want to get them in a class they can get the most out of it if they're going to come on a special day and time. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm sure I'll think of something else that I didn't mention as soon as I turn off, but so as a recap, what to look for right now would be signing up as a parent volunteer, and costumes are coming in sooner than expected. That's great. One quick note about a costume component is our props. So props would be things that the kids are using to hold on to or things on stage. For this year, the biggest prop that I think we have are the lollipops, the actual lollipops for the lollipop dance. They're so great. They're so cute. They're almost all here, not quite. As soon as I have all the lollipops, we will stop using magical wands and we will switch to lollipops. So with props, the way that that works is your student will not take their prop home at all until after the show. So I do this with, we've used fans and flowers, and I couldn't think of all the things that we have, but gosh, well, I won't go there, but anyway, lots of things where it's important that they stay with me and that they get handed out on side stage right before the dancers dance. And then they can take them home after the show. So that is one thing, is if your student dances with a prop, those will all stay at the dance room, and we'll use them there so that they understand how to use them, but they stay with me. And then make sure before you leave the show that you are leaving with your lollipop. So it's a little bit tricky. I usually have the parent volunteers, after they're done dancing, I have the parent volunteers recollect them, because otherwise the kids will leave them under the chair, or they'll get lost or mixed up or broken. So I usually have the parent volunteers collect the props when they're done dancing. Then when they get picked up with the parent, make sure that they're handing you, the bells or the lollipop or whatever it is that their prop is, because that is part of their costume. It is included in that. Another thing I've had a question about is those parents that are going to be going on stage with your little one. So if your student dances with me on Friday mornings and is a gummy bear, my favorite, then parents, you are getting a gummy bear t-shirt. It's a black t-shirt with the gummy bear on it. And then I wrote on there black pants. So any style black pants you want. Yeah, you can do black jeans, black slacks. It doesn't matter to me. Anything black on the bottom, because the base of your shirt is black with the gummy bear. And then, whatever you guys want for shoes is fine. And so I just wanted to clarify that for the parents that are going on. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's all that we talked about the other night. I'm trying to think what the parents' questions were. And again, you don't stay with your student during the show. So just know that if you feel like your student needs to be with you that whole night, then definitely sign up to be a parent volunteer, because I do get that question more as we get closer. Will my student be with me the whole time during the show? But no, they're with their class and the volunteer parents. So, and I don't usually turn volunteer parents away. So the more the merrier. I always have a great turnout and such a great, group of families willing to help, which I really appreciate. But that is a question I get. Will I be with them, or no, they will be separated from you. You'll be in the audience and they'll be backstage unless you're a parent volunteer. So I think that's about it, you guys. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I'll send an email out to everybody to let them know that this is now going to be forever recorded. So I'm hoping that I've answered everything. I feel like there's something that I'm forgetting. I'm sure I'll think of it the second I click off. So anyway, but that's about it. I also just on Tuesday night told everybody how great the kids are doing. They are so much fun to be with every afternoon. The things they say, I know you guys see me cracking up periodically while I'm teaching, and it's just because they say the greatest things ever. And I just love them so much. They're so talented and fun and energetic. And I just feel lucky and fortunate to get to spend time with your children. They're a riot and they just make me smile and laugh. So we're having a blast together and it's a lot of fun. I can't wait for the show. I love the theme. I think they're excited about it. I think it's going to be a great show. So I can't wait. It's a busy time right now. And again, I do this so that everybody can feel like they are, in the know and have all the information, and don't hesitate to email me. Again, it's espritarts8@gmail.com. I do get a lot of emails, but I will get back to you. It is hard for me in between teaching. I have my classes back to back, so I like to run on time and I like to make sure that the kids are getting their full class, or my adults get their full class. So I try not to come out, and I don't have a lot of time to chit chat in between my classes. I wish I did. So I kind of do this so that I can be here for you guys. And again, this is a little different. It's not really my live meeting, but thanks again to those that came out. And again, usually when we do our parent volunteer meetings and these meetings, I always tell you guys, ask questions in the chat, and I'm able to do both. So for the next meeting that I see you guys, it'll be just the volunteers. And again, if you guys, bring your questions with you, even if you're watching virtually, and I'll make sure to get to those in the chat. So I hope everybody has a great day, a great night, a great morning whenever you're watching this. I'll see you at class this week. Look for the volunteer signups and the shoe, hair, and tights list to come home, and get ready for costumes. It's going to be exciting. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.